4 o'clock hour here on the Burns and Gambo show. 4 o'clock reset we'll do at 4:15 because he came around the corner right before we went to a break, and it's great to have Diamondbacks outfielder Jake McCarthy as our guest here on the Burns and Gambo show.
One of our favorites.
Absolutely one of our favorites.
Congratulations.
I asked to save this for the air. Yeah. Okay, so congratulations. You got married in the offseason.
Married.
I was joking with you. Oh, she made you cut your hair. I was kidding. She made you cut your hair?
Yeah, she wanted it a little more controlled, contained, and it was in January, so it's growing back. I cut it like a few weeks before. I trimmed it in the off season. It's a lot when I'm not wearing a hat.
Yeah,
right. It's easy when you throw the hat on, the hair's not in your face, but it's hard to kind of control when I'm, a normal person. So it was.
So she said cut it.
She said cut it, and now it's growing back.
You listened to her.
Yes, I listened to her. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean,
that's the way it goes.
Yes.
Trust me.
Well, okay, hold on. Before you say trust me, I was trying to tell you for years, trust me.
Yeah,
that's how it's going to go.
I thought I had control.
And you were in total denial. The idea that you were in control of this, you were just in such denial.
I thought I might have some, and then within a year, I lost all complete control. My wife controls everything.
So it's growing back now. Is it?
I hope it grows back. Yes, it seems to be growing back.
Oh, okay. So it was just like a wedding thing. It's not a.
Oh yeah, it was for the wedding.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You can have long hair all day long.
Yes.
Just for the wedding, we need short hair.
And she let me keep my mustache. So
congratulations.
Well, congratulations.
So that was we met in the middle. We
the whole team got married this offseason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody got married. Are you surprised that you're here? You played so well, and with two center fielders, we thought one of you guys might actually get traded in the offseason. Did you hear any of those rumors? Did you think about it?
I feel like they've always been around, so it's like par for the course. It's like, and I don't really think it's my job to necessarily, look into that stuff.
Don't take it the wrong way. I'm glad you're here. We're fans. We enjoy watching you play. But you guys, between you and Alec, there was a lot of talk that if somebody wanted to give up a closer or something, the Diamondbacks have two center fielders. They're both really good. Maybe they can move one of them.
Yeah, but I just think it's maybe like when the first time I saw something like that, it's like, it gets your attention. But like I try to simplify my job, and it's to help the team win games, be a good baseball player, and I just don't think playing GM is ever healthy.
Would you say that the best part about your game last year was just consistent the whole year? I think you were pretty consistent the whole year.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. Obviously, you want to always improve, but I think being close to the same guy from April to September, October, whatever, that's huge, especially with a season as long as ours. I just think you want to be reliable.
Yeah, because at one point you had the batting average up to like 313. You had that 5-hit game. What do you remember about that? The 5-hit game.
That was a good day. There were a lot of holes out there. I was finding a few ground balls. The last one was like a bloop into shallow center, but we don't have to talk about that. There were a few hard hit balls, and as time goes on, I'll say they were doubles, home runs,
line drives in the gap. Sure,
that's how it always works. Yep. I don't want to contradict my co-host here. I think the best part of your season last year was how you hit lefties. Have you bottled that, channeled that, figured it out? I mean, I don't want to say figured it out because you never figure anything out, but you know what I mean? Like if you figured it out enough that you feel like that can be repeatable for you again this year.
Yeah, I've said this before. Like I've spoken to Tori about it too. I just I know like platooning is very big. In our game today, but I feel like I don't know the exact numbers, but I feel like I have pretty consistent splits from lefties and righties. I just don't.
For most of your career, so last year wasn't like some outlier.
Yeah, I just I don't know. It's just never really been a thing. Obviously, like you get certain guys, sidearm, really good, whatever weird slot, funky stuff. It's going to be challenging, but it's not like a lefty or a righty. It's like, I have a severe disadvantage.
You're not wrong. Your OPS against righties for your career is 735 against lefties at 705.
You're down with OPS.
I am way down with OPS. It was just the first number that popped up.
You
so
are.
Yeah. So there's not really that for your career. That wasn't last season. That was for your career. So there's really not that much of a dramatic difference between the two.
Yeah, and you want to play every day, right? And it's like they're going to throw lefties out there, or they're going to bring guys in from the bullpen. So I just sort of being reliable. I just want to be able to give a good at bat whoever's on the mound.
I think one of the other things is just reducing strikeouts. You didn't strike out a whole lot last year. You put the ball in play. How important was that for you? Because, sometimes you find the holes. You don't have to hit it hard. You just got to put the ball in play.
Yeah, I just think, obviously you want to take aggressive hacks, and I think every now and then you'll strike out. But I think, I'm helping the team out the most when I'm hitting the ball on the line or even a hard ground ball. I'm not necessarily going up trying to hit a ground ball, but I think like a lazy fly out or – me having a ton of swing and miss is kind of, it's not really my game. It doesn't really help. So, I've tried to, again, you want to drive the ball, you want to have a good high OPS, but, if I'm swinging at the right pitches and getting on base and hitting line drives, I'm happy.
8 home runs. Are you going to try to hit for a little more power, or do you feel? I mean, I don't think you need to.
No,
I love your game the way it is. I don't think you need to, but some people may look at those numbers and say, "Oh, I'd like to see him hit 15."
Yeah, I would love to hit more. I would love to hit 40. That seems really fun.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But
I think we can cut that right there.
You're setting Good night, everybody. Those standards real high, Jake. We like it. That's good.
No, but you just want it to be organic. I don't want to go up just, selling out for power to the pull side, and then you start chasing and, just having bad at-bats. So if it comes with, refining the approach and being more selective, so be it. That's great. But I don't think it's like a goal to, hit 20 no matter what.
So this team lost Christian Walker, big home run threat. Jock Peterson could park the ball out of the yard. Do you feel like this team is going to have the power numbers behind it? You've got the speed. You got the guys who can go from first to third. You can steal bases. You got a lot of gap hitters. Do you feel like this team's going to have enough power?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're a really well-rounded lineup, and like you're asking about power, and I think, that will show up when it does. But I just think we have 1 through 9 and guys off our bench, whatever the lineup looks like. I just feel like we all give really good at bats, and like you hinted at the base running. I think that's super important, and I just think. Everyone kind of knows their role, and I think throughout a season when it's 9-on-1 against that pitcher, it's it's productive.
Jake McCarthy, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show. Who has popped to you this spring on your club? Who have you looked at and said, "Good spring, gonna have a good year," or you just feel like they're primed to have a good year for you guys?
I just think it's always. Fun when you get like younger outfielders that the non-roster or if they're on the roster. Like we were around Barossa, Vukovic, and I just think being around those guys and they're asking questions and it's exciting. Barossa was up with us last year, and Vukovic had some really nice ABs earlier this spring. So I'd say those two just because I was working with them every day. We're doing outfield drills. They're in the cages with us, and it's fun to – it's not an easy thing to, like, go out and back up a game or, like, you're, like, the new guy in the dugout, right? So I'm always impressed when younger guys sort of, have good at-bats.
Yeah. You had – last year you didn't go to Reno at all. You stayed up at the big club the whole time. The years before, you had gone to Reno for a little bit. What was that like to earn that spot and be a regular every day and play in all those games?
Yeah, I mean it's the goal. You want to be up here, right? You don't want to be a minor leaguer, but I think every time you fail, it's good for you. Obviously when you get that plane ticket to Reno, it's no fun. But
because I think of Jordan Lawler, and I think hey, this guy's eventually going to be a major league player, but he's got to go back to Reno. He's got to work on some things.
Yeah, it's just there's always an opportunity to get better, and it's hey, like, if you're going down or if you have a bad stint, well, acknowledge what you're doing wrong or what you can do better and work at it like crazy. And I just think a guy like Lawler is another one who's just super fun to be around, and obviously he's a big leaguer. He will be a big leaguer, and it's it's just more opportunities for him to sort of refine his approach, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Are you washing the dishes after dinner now? You're making the beds? You do all of these things you never used to do before? You chip in? You got to chip in a little bit.
I bet Jake was doing that stuff before.
You got to chip in.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Chip in. Especially this time of year when I'm home earlier than normal, and you know.
Got to help out.
Yeah, I only played 5 or 6 innings today, so that there's no excuse.
Right.
All right, live from Salt River Fields, Diamondbacks were victorious today in Cactus League action against the Colorado Rockies. as opening day 1 week and 1 day away from Chase Fields. They're just about closing up shop here from Salt River Fields. So are we. This is our last spring training broadcast from here today, and for the spring. And joining us right now, probably our last guest from the Diamondbacks here at spring training. It's going to be a good one, Pavin Smith.
I
think so.
The last guest.
I'm pretty sure, Pavin. So you're sending us home for the day. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
How you doing? How's your spring so far?
It's been good. It's been fun to get back with the guys and get back in the swing of things.
How far removed does the World Series seem to you?
I go back and forth with that. It feels like a while ago, but at the same time, like I can just flash back and picture it so vividly at the same time.
What do you remember the most about that whole run? Like sweeping the Dodgers, beating the Phillies in Philly. I mean, what do you remember in because you got to play a big role. You got a bunch of at-bats, throughout the playoffs, and got to play in a World Series. What do you take out of that? What's your fondest memory?
I think there was a bunch because I was obviously coming off the bench, so being part of like that the crew with like Lawler and all them just going crazy for when we played the Dodgers when we had the 4 home runs in an inning.
Oh my God!
And then you go to Philly and you're down 3-2 and the whole crowd's chanting Merrill's and Gallen's name on the mound. It was a fun experience, just getting booed everywhere you go.
And you had a big game against Philly. The game you won 2-1, right? You had a couple of hits in that game.
Yeah, that was at home. Yeah, our home crowd was great too, and we had the roof closed, made it even louder, so that was cool. I'll go out there and say when our roof was closed versus Philly, it was the loudest of the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just an incredible atmosphere. Like we've been here for a long time, and we go back to when the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in the World Series, which sucked for me because I'm a Yankee fan. But that was just an incredible run that you guys had to get to that postseason, and then to come up short last year, it was so deflating because you guys had such a good year and you won so many games, and you just couldn't get that last win at the end of the season when you needed it.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that every game matters. There's a lot of them, and sometimes it's easy to kind of take a day off because there's 162, but you just can't because you never know if it could come down to that last day.
It's funny. We were talking with, and Gambo referenced this on the air yesterday, we were talking with Mike Hazen off the air about a month ago at like some client thing, and we were asking him about games that he remembers from a year ago that like sting, like kind of stick in your craw a little bit. I thought for sure he was going to talk about Milwaukee and 8-0 and that last series against the Padres. He was pulling off with like just
Atlanta,
crazy memory, early season games, first month of the season, like stuff that you just, I think common fan kind of forgets about. So when you say every game matters, I mean, especially for you guys this year, dogfight in the West, dogfight in the wild card, it's that mentality from day one, right? That every single one of these matters in terms of what the goal is.
Yeah, 100%. Just like in basketball, like the guy misses the free throw at the end. Yeah, it seems like it was his fault, but there was probably a bunch of different plays throughout the game that could have gone a different way. And the same thing with baseball. It's easy to remember September and games in September, but just as important are the ones in April.
I blame the guy that missed the free throw at the end. I have to find blame with somebody. I can't watch a game enough. To me, it's the guy that missed the free throw. Yeah, a lot of other things happen, but if you would have made the freaking free throw, you might have won the game.
Yeah, well, that is true.
You also have some memory issues as well, so you forget about the guy in the second quarter who might have missed the free throw.
Boxing career.
Yeah,
my brain is not very. Yeah, my brain's a little scrambled.
Has this spring given the extra level of responsibility for you this year that's projected? Has this spring been any different for you at all because of that?
I don't think so. I just take it spring, regular season, anytime off season, just trying to come to the field, put my best foot forward, and try to get a little bit better. And the opportunity could present itself more this year, and I don't want to look at that as more pressure or anything like that.
What conversations have you had with Torrey or Mike or the coaches about changes for you this year and what it might look like?
They pretty much were just saying just to keep being myself and keep doing continuing to build on what I did last year and the end of the year, and not worry about the future as much. Just take it day by day, and that's what I'm trying to do.
All right, I'm not going to lie. My partner knows this because I've said this all along. I'm a big believer in your ability to take this DH spot, get your 4 at-bats every day, and really help. I mean, I think I've seen you rake. I've seen you really hit. You're a terrific hitter. So to me, when Jock left, I wasn't that worried because I knew that they had you to come in and take that place. And obviously, you're not going to try to be like Jock. You got to be yourself. But how much confidence do you have right now in your ability to come out there and be a regular at that position? Maybe you get some play in the field at first or in the outfield because you're versatile enough to do that. But how good do you feel about being able to get those 4 at-bats every single game and contribute against righties?
Yeah, I feel very confident. And, yeah, I'm not trying to be like Jock, but I definitely learned a lot watching him be the DH last year and, how he went about it, not taking every at-bat as every at-bat's important, but, you be able to just, forget it because you have a lot of time to think about your last at-bat. You're not going out and playing defense, so you can kind of dwell on mistakes that you make, and he did a good job of not doing that.
A lot of people in the organization told me that about Jock, that he was a real leader. His approach was something that they were going to miss because a lot of guys learned from that. Is that where you're trying to go? The way he approached every game and every at-bat is something that you can learn from?
Yeah, and just the way he played DH where, like I said, he just didn't dwell on mistakes because it's easy to get on that iPad when it's sitting there and you know nothing else to do and kind of just overanalyze things when you don't need to.
Pavin Smith, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo show. It is, as Gambo referenced, widely believed that the designated hitter's position is yours. But you playing outfield, playing first, how important is it for you to not just be the designated hitter for the Diamondbacks and to get those reps in those other spots?
Yeah, I mean...
Is it important?
Yeah, I think it is. Hazen told me at the beginning of this year, I'm probably going to be DHing more often, but that's not, my full career path. So just being able to, I haven't played much DH this spring because, eventually I'm not going to be, a strict DH. So just being able to stay, playing the field, working on that. Just because I'm DHing doesn't mean I'm not, taking ground balls, shagging in the outfield and stuff like that.
Right. So because you're just such a young player still in your arc, you don't want to just kind of give into that at this stage in your career, right? You don't want to just be that thing that you're known for the rest of your big league playing career.
Right. I mean, I can do a lot of things, but it's also not a bad thing to be good at DH because it definitely takes a certain player and skill. Some people don't like doing it, so.
Yeah, and they get paid a lot of money now, these DHs.
Yeah.
You're a good DH. You can make a lot of money.
Do you like it?
I do enjoy it.
You like it?
Kind of just focus in on what I have to do. It's nice because we have a cage right by the dugout everywhere you go, so you can kind of hit and stay warm, stay loose, and kind of make more adjustments than you could if you're just playing defense.
Yeah. Wasn't it Blaze Alexander that was telling us he had to be taught how to go and use the cage because he was so he got into a game and he was so cold and he made an error and he did it. And he's and in fact, Randall Gritchick or somebody said, okay, let me show you how you got to prepare when you're not playing,
right.
How you got to kind of get ready. And, maybe around the 5th or 6th inning, you got to go do this, then you got to do that. You got to just get yourself ready. So you've done everything. You've played in the outfield. You've played at first base. You've been on the bench. Was that something that you got accustomed to, at a certain time in the game? I'm going to start to get ready in case I have to come in and play?
Yeah, 100%. You kind of do the math on who's in their bullpen, who are the possible people that you would pinch hit for, in what situation. You kind of get ready based on that.
Well, Pavin, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this season.
Who do you got for opening day? Who's your pick?
Oh, is that the thing you asked?
That's the question. You're asking everybody. Who's your pick?
I mean, I'm not gonna say because they haven't released it, but I have a feeling of who it might be, but we have a lot of good options. It seems like anybody in this rotation could be
trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
I mean, we have a lot of good starting pitching that have ace stuff, so it's a good spot to be.
Okay. All right.
Good stuff.
All right.
Pavin, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming by. Pavin Smith, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo show, joining us live from Diamondback Spring Training.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.